Hey, quick question before we even say hello. Have you ever studied English for months, maybe even years, but the moment someone says, "Hi, how are you?" in real life, your mind just goes completely blank?
Oh, James, don't even joke about that. That is literally my story.
Wait, really? You? You speak English so well now, Jenny.
Now, yes, but you should have seen me a few years ago. I remember standing in line at a coffee shop in London, and the barista asked me a simple question, for here or to go? And I just froze. I knew every word. I understood the grammar, but my mouth just would not move.
That is such a real moment. And honestly, I think almost everyone listening right now has felt that exact freeze. You know the words in your head, but somehow they don't come out of your mouth.
Exactly. And that, my friend, is the perfect way to start today's episode.
It really is. So welcome back, everyone, to the Learning Lab podcast. I'm James.
And I'm Jenny, and today is a big day.
A huge day, because today is day 10.
The final day of our Speak English Fluently in 10 Days series.
I actually feel a little emotional saying that. We've come such a long way together, with you, our listener.
We really have. We've talked about pronunciation, we've talked about listening, building vocabulary, grammar shortcuts, confidence, small talk, so many things.
And today, we're closing the whole journey with what I honestly think is the most important lesson of all.
Ooh, big claim. Go on.
Today's topic is Speak English Every Day.
See, I love this topic because it's so simple, but so many people skip it.
Right, because it's not flashy. It's not a secret grammar trick. It's just consistency.
And consistency is boring to talk about, but it's the one thing that actually works.
So today, we're going to talk about why daily practice matters so much, and then we're going to give you real, simple ways to fit English into your everyday life, even if you're busy, even if you're shy, even if you don't live in an English-speaking country.
Yes, because that's the big excuse, right? I don't live in America. I don't live in England. So how can I practice every day?
Exactly, and we're going to bust that excuse today.
Let's do it.
All right, so let's start with the problem. Jenny, in your experience, what's the biggest reason people don't speak English every day?
Honestly, I think it's because people treat English like a subject in school, like math or history, something you study for an hour, then close the book and forget about until tomorrow.
Oh, that's such a good point. It becomes a task instead of a habit.
Exactly. But here's the thing. A language isn't really something you learn once and then know forever. It's more like a muscle.
A muscle, I like that.
Think about it. If you go to the gym once a week for a big, hard workout, but do nothing the other 6 days, will you get strong?
Not really, no. Maybe a little, but very slowly.
Right. But if you do just 15 minutes of light exercise every single day, your body slowly, steadily gets stronger. It's the same with English.
So it's not about how long you study, it's about how often.
Exactly. Little and often beats long and rare, every single time.
Okay, I want to introduce a phrase right there because I think that's a great one for our listeners to remember. Little and often. Can you say that one more time, Jenny?
Little and often. It means doing a small amount regularly instead of a big amount rarely.
Little and often. I love that. Okay, so let's go a little deeper. Why does the brain actually need daily contact with English? Like what's happening inside our heads?
Great question. So, from what I understand, when we learn something new, like a phrase or a word, our brain creates a new connection. But that connection is weak at first. It's like a thin little path in a forest.
Oh, I like this image.
Right? So imagine you're walking through a forest and you make a new path by walking through the grass one time. The next day, if you don't walk that same path again, the grass grows back and the path disappears.
So the knowledge just fades away.
Exactly. But if you walk that same path every day, the grass never gets a chance to grow back. Eventually, that path becomes a strong, clear road. And that's what fluency really is. It's a road in your brain that you've walked so many times, it's just there, automatically.
Wow, okay, that actually explains so much. That's why sometimes we learn a word, feel great about it, and then a week later, it's like we never knew it at all.
Yes, that's called forgetting, obviously, but more specifically in language learning, we sometimes call it language loss or skill decay, and the fix is so simple. Just walk the path again. Use the word again. Speak it again.
Okay, so here's a real question people are probably thinking right now. That sounds nice, Jenny, but I'm busy. I have work, I have family, I have a whole life. I don't have 1 extra hour a day for English.
And that's such a fair point, James. But here's the secret. You don't need 1 extra hour.
Really?
Really, you need small moments spread through your day. That's it.
Okay, give me an example. Walk me through what that could actually look like.
All right, let's say you wake up in the morning. While you're brushing your teeth or making coffee, you could listen to just 2 minutes of an English podcast. Not even our whole episode, just 2 minutes.
2 minutes. Okay, that's nothing. Anyone can find 2 minutes.
Exactly. Then, let's say you're commuting to work, on a bus, a train, or even walking. Instead of scrolling social media the whole time, you could spend 5 or 10 minutes listening to English music or repeating phrases out loud.
Ooh, repeating out loud. That's important. We'll talk about why in a second. Then, during lunch, maybe you read one short English article, even 3 or 4 sentences. And in the evening, before bed, maybe you write 2 or 3 sentences in English about your day. So when you add it all up,
That's maybe 25 minutes total. But it didn't feel like a big effort because it was spread out in small pieces, connected to things you were already doing.
that's brilliant, actually. It's like English wasn't a separate task. It was just woven into your normal day.
That's it exactly. And that leads to a phrase I really want to teach today. Build it into your routine.
Build it into your routine. Say that again for our listeners, Jenny.
Build it into your routine. It means to make something a natural part of your daily habits, so you don't have to think hard about doing it. It just happens automatically, like brushing your teeth or making your morning coffee.
I love that phrase. Build it into your routine. Okay, let's talk about speaking specifically now, because listening and reading are wonderful, but speaking is where most people freeze, right? Like your coffee shop story.
Oh, yes. Speaking is the scary part for almost everyone.
So how can someone speak English every day if they don't live in an English-speaking country and maybe they don't even know anyone who speaks English?
Okay, this is such a common worry, and I want to really open this up because there are more options than people think. First option, talk to yourself.
Wait, talk to yourself? Like out loud?
Yes, out loud. I know it sounds funny, but it actually works so well.
Okay, tell me how that even works. What do you say to yourself?
So, for example, when I'm cooking dinner, I sometimes just describe what I'm doing in English out loud. Like, okay, now I'm cutting the onions. Oh, this knife is quite sharp. I hope I don't cry too much.
That's amazing.
It sounds silly, but it's real practice. You're forming real sentences, thinking in English, and moving your mouth in the actual shapes needed for English sounds.
Oh, that mouth shape point is so important because pronunciation isn't just about knowing the sound, it's about training your mouth muscles to make that sound easily.
Exactly. It's like exercise for your mouth and tongue.
So, talking to yourself, that's phrase number 1 for speaking practice. What's another option for someone who maybe feels too shy even to talk to themselves out loud?
Okay, great question. Second option, and this one is wonderful, find a language exchange partner.
Tell our listeners what that means exactly.
So a language exchange partner is someone who is learning your language while you're learning theirs. So, for example, imagine you speak Spanish and you're learning English. You could find someone who speaks English and is learning Spanish.
Oh, I see. So you help each other.
Exactly. You spend 15 minutes speaking English together, then 15 minutes speaking Spanish together. It's completely free, and it's honestly one of the best ways to practice real conversation.
And where would someone even find a partner like that?
There are some really popular apps for this, like Tandem or HelloTalk. You just make a profile, say what language you speak and what language you're learning, and you can message or even video call people from all over the world.
That's such a great tip. Okay, and what if someone is nervous even about that? Like, I don't feel ready to talk to a stranger yet.
Totally understandable, and that's completely normal. So here's option 3, a nice middle step. Join an online conversation group.
Oh, tell me more about this.
So there are online communities, sometimes on apps like Discord, sometimes through websites, where groups of English learners get together in video calls just to practice speaking together. It feels less scary because you're in a group, not one-on-one, and everyone there understands exactly what you're going through because they're learning too.
Oh, that everyone understands part is so comforting because sometimes we're scared to make mistakes in front of native speakers, but with other learners,
Exactly. There's this shared understanding. Nobody is going to judge you for a grammar mistake because they're making their own mistakes too.
that's a relief, honestly. Okay, one more option because I think there's a really underrated one. What about shadowing?
Oh, yes. Shadowing. I'm so glad you brought that up.
Can you explain shadowing for anyone who hasn't heard that word before?
Of course. So, shadowing means you listen to a native speaker, maybe in a video or a podcast, and you repeat what they say almost at the same time as them, copying their rhythm, their intonation, their pronunciation as closely as possible.
So it's like being their shadow, following right behind them.
Exactly. That's where the name comes from. And it's such a powerful technique because you're not just learning words, you're absorbing the natural music of English, the rise and fall, the stress on certain words, the connected sounds.
And you don't even need a partner for that. You can do it completely alone with your phone.
Exactly, which makes it perfect for someone who's shy or who doesn't have anyone to practice with yet.
Okay, I want to pause here and just say we've given 4 really solid options. Talking to yourself, finding a language exchange partner, joining an online conversation group, and shadowing videos or podcasts. There's really no excuse of I have nobody to practice with anymore.
None at all. There's a way for every single personality, whether you're an outgoing person who loves meeting new people or a shy person who wants to start alone.
Perfect. Now, Jenny, let's talk about something a little different. Let's talk about fear. Because I think even with all these tools, the biggest wall for a lot of people is just fear of making mistakes.
Oh, that is such a huge topic. Honestly, I think fear stops more people than lack of knowledge.
Say more about that.
Well, think about it. A lot of learners actually know more English than they think. They know grammar rules, they know vocabulary, but when it's time to speak, this fear comes in. This fear of, what if I say it wrong? What if they laugh at me? What if I sound stupid?
And that fear just freezes everything.
Completely freezes it. It's like the knowledge is there, but the fear builds a wall in front of it.
So how do we break that wall down?
Okay, here's something that changed everything for me personally. I started to think of mistakes differently. Instead of seeing a mistake as something embarrassing, I started to see it as proof that I was trying,
Ooh, proof that you were trying. I like that a lot.
right? Because think about it. If you never make a mistake, it probably means you're not challenging yourself at all. You're only saying things you already know perfectly. But if you're making mistakes, that means you're stretching yourself, reaching for new words, trying new sentences.
That's such a healthy way to look at it. Mistakes aren't failure, they're evidence of growth.
Exactly. And here's another important truth. Most native speakers are not judging your grammar. Honestly, most of them are just happy and even impressed that you're making the effort to speak their language at all.
I've experienced that myself. Whenever I've tried speaking a little bit of another language, even badly, people's faces just light up. They're not thinking about my mistakes. They're just happy I tried.
Exactly. So here's a phrase for our listeners. Mistakes are proof you're trying. Say that with me in your mind, everyone. Mistakes are proof you're trying.
I love that. Okay, let's talk about another practical tool for building this daily habit, because motivation is wonderful, but it fades. What keeps someone going after the excitement of day 1 wears off?
Yes, this is so real. Day 1, everyone is excited. I'm going to speak English every day. But by day 5, 6, 7, that motivation naturally drops.
It always does.
Always. So instead of relying only on motivation, we need something stronger. And that's a system. Something that works even on days when you don't feel like it.
Okay, what does that system look like?
My favorite method is what I call the 2-minute rule. The idea is you commit to just 2 minutes of English every day. Not 1 hour, not 30 minutes, just 2 minutes.
2 minutes sounds almost too easy.
That's the whole point. It's so easy that you can never say, I don't have time. Everyone has 2 minutes.
Okay, but does 2 minutes actually help?
Well, here's the secret. Once you start, you often keep going longer than 2 minutes. It's like when you tell yourself, I'll just clean one small corner of my room, and then you end up cleaning the whole room, because starting was the hardest part.
Oh, that's so true. Starting really is the hardest part.
Exactly. The 2-minute rule removes that barrier of starting. And even on days when you truly only do 2 minutes, that's still better than zero. You kept your streak alive, you kept that path in the forest clear.
I love how that connects back to our earlier idea, the forest path. Even a small walk keeps the path from disappearing.
Exactly. Perfectly connected.
So, 2-minute rule, everyone. Remember that phrase. It means committing to a small, easy amount of daily practice so that starting never feels overwhelming.
And once you're speaking that little bit every day, here's something wonderful that happens. Your brain starts to actually think in English, sometimes without you even trying.
Oh, tell me about that, because I think that's a dream for so many learners, thinking in English.
Yes, so many people ask, how do I start thinking in English instead of translating in my head? And honestly, it's not a trick. It's simply a result of consistent daily practice. The more your brain hears and produces English regularly, the less it needs to translate through your first language.
So it's not a separate skill you learn, it's a natural result of daily habit.
Exactly. It comes automatically as a gift from consistency.
Love that. A gift from consistency. Okay, Jenny, I want to bring up one more piece of this puzzle, and that's surrounding yourself with English even outside of formal study time.
Oh, yes. This is often called creating an English environment or immersion, even if you don't travel anywhere.
Right, because you don't need a plane ticket to create immersion.
Not at all. You can change the language on your phone to English. You can watch your favorite shows with English subtitles instead of your native language. You can follow English social media accounts.
Oh, that's such a simple one. Changing your phone language.
It seems tiny, but you interact with your phone probably 100 times a day. If just a little bit of that is in English, it adds up to real exposure without any extra effort.
It's kind of sneaky in a good way.
Exactly. It's like hiding vegetables in a delicious meal. You're getting the nutrition without even noticing the effort.
I love that comparison. Okay, so let's say someone's listening right now and they're thinking, okay, I'm convinced. I want to speak English every day starting today. What would you say is the very first, simplest step they should take?
I would say don't try to build a huge, perfect plan today. Just choose one small thing. Maybe it's, I will listen to 2 minutes of English while I make my coffee tomorrow morning. That's it. Just one small promise to yourself.
One small promise. I like that a lot, because big plans often collapse under their own weight, but small promises are easy to keep.
Exactly. And once that small habit feels natural, after maybe a week or two, you can add another small piece. Maybe now you also shadow a short video during lunch. Then maybe a few weeks later, you add a weekly conversation with a language partner.
So it grows slowly and naturally, like layers building on top of each other.
Exactly. Like building a house. You don't build the roof first, you build a strong foundation, one small piece at a time.
I really love that image. Okay, before we wrap up, Jenny, I want to ask you something personal. Looking back on your own journey, from that frozen moment at the coffee shop to now, what's the one thing you'd tell your past self about speaking English every day?
Oh, that's such a lovely question. Honestly, I would tell myself, you don't need to feel ready. You just need to start small and start today. I used to think I needed to know a lot before I could start speaking daily. But really, speaking daily is exactly how you get to know a lot.
That's beautiful. Speaking daily is how you learn, not something you do after you've already learned.
Exactly. It's the process, not the reward at the end.
That's a powerful way to close this part of the conversation. All right, everyone. Let's take a moment now and gently look back over everything we've talked about today in our final day of this 10-day journey.
Yes, let's recap it nice and easy.
So we started by talking about why daily practice matters so much, comparing English to a muscle and to a path in a forest. If you don't walk that path regularly, the grass grows back and the knowledge fades.
And we learned the beautiful phrase little and often, meaning small amounts of practice done regularly work far better than one big session done rarely.
Then, we talked about how to build English into your day without needing extra time, connecting it to things you already do like your morning coffee, your commute, your lunch break.
And we learned the phrase build it into your routine, making English a natural part of your day, not a separate stressful task.
Then, we moved into speaking specifically and gave 4 wonderful options for daily speaking practice: talking to yourself out loud, finding a language exchange partner, joining an online conversation group, and shadowing videos or podcasts.
So many good options there for every personality type.
Then we talked honestly about fear and how mistakes are actually a wonderful sign, not something to be ashamed of.
Mistakes are proof you're trying. Such an important phrase to remember, especially on the hard days.
And we introduced the 2-minute rule, committing to just 2 minutes a day so starting never feels overwhelming and so that your habit can survive even the busiest days.
And finally, we talked about surrounding yourself with English throughout your day, in even tiny ways like changing your phone language or watching shows with English subtitles.
What a journey this has been, not just today, but across all 10 days together.
Honestly, I feel proud of everyone listening because just by being here on day 10, you've already shown that you're someone who follows through. That's not nothing. That's actually huge.
It really is. So many people start language learning and quit after a day or two, but you're here at the finish line of this series, ready to keep going in real life.
And that's really the whole point, isn't it? This series was never meant to be the end. It's meant to be the beginning of your daily habit.
Beautifully said. Okay, before we say goodbye, we have a question of the day for you, and we would genuinely love to hear your answer in the comments below.
Yes, so here's our question. What is one small way you can build English into your everyday routine starting tomorrow? It could be 2 minutes of listening while you make breakfast. It could be talking to yourself while cooking dinner. It could be finding a language partner this week. Tell us in the comments.
We really do read every single comment, and we would love to celebrate your small promise with you.
Yes, and if this 10-day series helped you even a little bit, please share this video with a friend who's also learning English. You never know. Your share might be exactly the encouragement someone else needs today.
It really could be. Learning a language is so much easier when you're not doing it alone.
So true. All right, everyone, that brings us to the end of day 10 and the end of our full 10-day journey together.
It's been such a joy sharing this with you. Thank you so much for learning with us.
Keep speaking, keep practicing a little bit every single day.
And remember, you don't need to be perfect. You just need to keep going.
Until next time, this has been The Learning Lab.
Take care and see you very soon.